Hey, welcome to Couch GM. The Mariners and Carlos Santana continue their role as they just swept the Blue Jays in a 4-game series in Seattle to now share the third wildcard spot in the AL with the Blue Jays. This now marks the Mariners' 8th win in a row, and they're now 16-3 since June 19th. They're 11-2 since that infamous Angels brawl. They're 11-1 since Carlos Santana was traded to Seattle, and they're now 9-1 since they started serving the suspensions for that Angels brawl. So you could say without a doubt the Mariners are one of the hottest teams in baseball right now.
Hansel, so hot right now. Hansel.
Here are the current AL wildcard standings before the games on Monday, July 11th. And as you can see, the Orioles are right on the tails of the Blue Jays and Mariners. They've won their last 8 as well as the Guardians and the White Sox are close. So this is going to be a tight race for the remainder of the season. Even looking at the top of the wild card, Boston is only 2.5 games ahead of that third wild card spot, so there's a lot of shifting that can happen over these last few months. Last week, Julio was named the American League Player of the Week, and yesterday it was announced that he made his first All-Star game as the lone representative for the Mariners. Everyone expected Ty France to also make the All-Star game as a first baseman, as he was a finalist, but Vlad was voted in as a starter, and then Luis Arraez, who's more of a utility guy, was given that reserve spot. Ty still might have a shot at making it as a reserve, as Yordan Alvarez is now on the injured list, and Logan Gilbert still has a shot as well if any players back out. But that still begs the question, why didn't he make it? Why is that? What is going on in the MLB? Now moving on to that Blue Jays series, Game 1 was Marco on the bump with the Blue Jays rolling with the bullpen game, and the Mariners jumped on the Blue Jays, scoring 7 runs over their first 3 innings, including this Dylan Moore home run with an assist by Lourdes Gurriel. Big dumper Cal Raleigh then followed that up with a 2-run shot of his own in the third, and the Mariners would go on to win Game 1 8-3. Cal has been flying under the radar a bit so far this year. Among catchers, he has the 3rd lowest at-bats per home run so far this year, and although he had a slow start to the 2022 season, he's really picked things up and he's been able to contribute. Jerry Dipoto on the Dipoto Show mentioned that when he was talking to Scott Boras about his client Cal Raleigh, that Scott brought up the comp of Jason Varitek to Cal Raleigh, as they're both switch hitters, solid defenders, and pack some pop. So while some people have been calling to trade for a catcher, Cal may end up being exactly what we needed. Game 2 of the series started and ended with some drama, as Julio started the game with a line shot to center field, and while trying to turn it into a triple, he ended up taking a tumble, and was thrown out while doing a swim move at third base. Luckily, the next day he did remember his floaties, and thankfully he didn't get injured from something that looked like it was worse than it was. Then in the top of the 4th, with Kirby on the mound, Julio fielded this ball in center field and threw it 99.6 miles per hour to third baseman Eugenio Suarez for the force out, and luckily Suarez ended up being okay on this play as well. Both teams' bullpens performed very well this game, taking the game into the 11th inning, until Eugenio Suarez decided to end the game himself with a 3-run home run off of the former Mariner Sergio Romo, who had just been DFA'd a few weeks ago by the Mariners. Eugenio has over 200 career home runs, and yet this was his first walk-off home run.
Hey guys, this is Eugenio Suarez right now. I'm very excited. Big win, big walk-off homer. See you guys tomorrow. Enjoy the night.
The next day was Robbie Ray on the mound to face his former team for the first time and to keep his hot streak alive. He was in the 95-96 range with his fastball and held his own against the Blue Jays ace Alek Manoah. Robbie ended up going 6 innings with 6 strikeouts and 1 earned run on 3 hits. Over the last 30 days, Robbie Ray has a .91 ERA, which is best for first out of all starting pitchers. He also has among the most innings pitched in that span and is allowing just a .73 whip and a .135 batting average against. During this game, we also saw Matt Brash for the first time as a reliever, and his stuff was electric as ever. He threw his fastest pitch of the year at 99.7 miles an hour, and his off-speed looked just as crazy as before. From the sounds of it, he's throwing his slider a little faster than before, around 90 miles an hour, compared to that curveball around 86. So you might be able to see more of a difference now between his slider and curveball compared to back when he was a starter. If the Mariners can roll with Brash and Munoz as the back end of their bullpen the remainder of the year, I have no clue how any hitter has a chance. And oh, by the way, Andres Munoz leads the American League in strikeouts per 9 innings with 14.2, and over his last 11 games, he's pitched 13.1 innings with 28 strikeouts and 3 walks, no earned runs. We're going to be going back to that Austin Nola trade for years to come. But just to check in on that, the players that were traded to San Diego have provided about 2.5 wins above replacement, whereas the players traded to the Mariners so far have provided about 8.5 wins above replacement. And France is now becoming a centerpiece in the Mariners lineup, and Munoz in the bullpen. Jumping back to the third game of the series, Carlos Santana was the star of this game and the series, and in this game he provided all of the offense for the Mariners with a 2-run home run off of Alek Manoah in the 7th inning. Jerry just might know what he's doing here. In the final game of the series, Logan Gilbert got hit around a bit, giving up 4 earned runs on 9 hits, but he did have 7 strikeouts over 6 innings. And the offense provided largely by, you guessed it, Carlos Santana, who had 2 home runs and 3 RBIs, as well as 3 runs scored. One of those home runs being a go-ahead 2-run home run that won the Mariners the game. Sewald shut him down in the 9th, and it's time to grab the broom. The Mariners now have 2 games at the Nationals and 4 games at the Rangers before the All-Star weekend. Thank you for watching, and if you like this video, please make sure to give it a share, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.
All right, guys, goodbyes only. Don't forget it.
Stop it.